I'd love to welcome everybody to the Independent Investor live stream. Every week we throw down, we foot stomp on the opportunity for individual investors in in an opportunity that is absolutely real, and it's exciting. It's exciting times to have the opportunity to become a participant in financial markets and looking to open the opportunity to all and looking to really parse through the gray and define that black and white for you, and make sure that you're not being led astray. That's why we are so adamant about the opportunity to put individuals in control of their own money, and it's not a very well accepted concept. It really isn't. I think when we're looking to challenge the system and how it's developed, the system in and of itself. I mean, pundits come and they go, and YouTube is no different, in that just selling the news of the day seems to be extremely popular to a lot of people that want to look for the largest group, and the very criteria that they look for is, well, if this has the largest group, then somehow the information that's being turned out must be credible. And I think, unfortunately, it does not promote any type of individual thought. And I think it can really muddy the waters. It can confuse people. It can make people overreact to situations that they wouldn't have normally reacted to had they just taken a little bit of time to self-assess and take a look at what they want, not only out of financial markets, but to have a little bit of perspective about your opportunity, and what type of risk is worth putting on the table, and how it is the tried and true methods of entering into financial markets can help you buffer some of the volatility. And it's times like this where I can lean into the portfolio as much as I need. I'm getting absolutely crushed in small caps. Small caps right now are just getting obliterated. There's no doubt about it. This is pretty indicative of the cycle here that we've been in since early November. And I was giving you guys the pulse and the tone for those folks that make their way into the Independent Investor channel. For some reason, as of late, everybody's wanted to realize that there is shit in their pants, and they want to start cleaning it out now. I'm not really sure I understand that in that application. I don't. There is no emotion in stock market investing, as cliche as that does sound. You really do have to have an approach that is above all. You really do need to learn to apply a methodology about stock market investing, and you do need to pay attention. I think what's interesting to me. I was just talking to my good friend back behind the scenes here with Kyle with passive income, and the irony, some of those sharp minds on YouTube is that they're judged by their channels. I've got Matt Money here in the group, and myself. We've got relatively small channels, but I think there's an element of assistance there, and really a sharp mind to try to parse through the confusion in the landscape, and really try to understand and put yourself into the driver's seat of the recipient of the message. So if you're sitting across from somebody and it's like, well, Ryan just sold out of his entire portfolio, buy my course, and it's I sneak that in every now and then. I think for the patrons out there that been around the block a few times, I think they can double check and make sure that you don't have my hand in your pocket, taking out my donation to be part of the live stream here on the Independent Investor channel, man. But certainly delivering the goods, absolutely. But pundits, those folks that are catching waves of momentums, and yeah, interest rates are going up. They've been prematurely low or manufactured at historic lows for a significant amount of time. And I think to step into a little bit more of a higher interest rate environment to hedge the effects of inflation, because we've infused the populace with capital flows to help buffer what has been an unprecedented pandemic over the last couple of years, is completely normal. Now, again, if you are just realizing that you indeed have soiled yourself, and that you need to do a little bit of personal maintenance, because you have never gone through this before, or your stock market investing application has been defined on the last 10 years doing nothing but providing you easy money in the market, right? Buy my course. Then I this is going to be a lesson for you that is going to be hopefully well received, in that, people were lulled to sleep for a long, long time to think that the market was just one of those things that could be made out to be something more than what it actually is. And you're getting a bit of dose of reality right now as to the stock market investing opportunity. And me personally, there's certain elements of the portfolio that, yeah, that are getting stuck, but I'm leaning against the passive element to the portfolio, man. I'm up week over week on that TSP, those programs that appeal to the masses out there, those folks that can look at their own program and say, well, hell yeah, Ryan's actually an advocate for, I don't know, working. And that's the funny thing, is a lot of people will come to a larger YouTube channel and think that they can devote $400 or $500 to a course, $1,000, $1,500. The money doesn't matter, because people who are gullible, you suck, honestly. You suck insofar as that you might be an awesome person. I'll be your friend, but you suck in that you're not going to get the value that you're all excited about getting out of stock market investing by entering into a course like that's being sold through YouTube. Not for your benefit, okay? It's not. It's aimed to catch a wave. And the irony in the whole thing is, that there's an interesting dynamic now in the markets. I say win in both markets, up and down, all the time. That's prudent. That is prudent approach when you're talking about the stock market. But when I view, and it was a very heated topic in a good way in my Viper group this week. If you're not part of the Viper group, I would invite you to subscribe to the Viper group. You get one private session with me every year, and it works really, really well for a lot of introductory investors. You've kind of got that in your hip pocket. I think a lot of folks use it as that, but you can check that at independentinvestorgroup.com. That's independentinvestorgroup.com. The links are on the front page of the YouTube channel. Kick over there. It's a product I'm very, very proud of. It will build out, and I do not want people in there that don't want to be there. It's just that simple. Don't join. Okay. I'm a little different. Buy my course. I don't do that. I want people in there that are serious about wealth building. And it's amazing to me, breaking down barriers for people, identifying those folks that maybe have come from a little bit of hardship in their life. They're hungry. They want to get ahead. They're fighting, scratching, working hard every single day to scratch out that living. Identify that little bit of surplus capital in the budget to put to work on a program. Okay. Now look at your program as a series of layers. Okay. For a lot of people out there, the layers can start with the 401k, the 403b, the 457 programs. If you don't have that and you are self-employed, certainly the SEP is worth looking at. And then the individual Roth IRA account and so on. We can layer up in any capacity that you want. I think I've got about 20 accounts now. Just started the corporate accounts. That's 4 additional here. So I'm looking to build an empire. And you might think, who the hell are you? Well, in my mind, I'm trying to build what it is that I'm aspiring to. And I share that with you guys. Buy my course. I don't need you to buy my course. I don't have a course. I don't think that way. I think that if I was going to sell everything in the stock market, the prudent thing would be is not to share that with anybody, because that, if you do understand anything, and either one of two things, the individual does understand it or is naive to the fact that that is terrible, terrible advice to give to an audience of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who who will be, led astray by receiving that message. Well, maybe it is time to just sell everything. The really tough part about that, and I gave a very spirited audio cast in my Viper group. What happens if the market ends up rolling off 1,000 or 2,000 points? It's going to be dubbed in the short term as that individual, man, knows the stock market. That individual is a stock market whisperer. That's amazing. Buy my course. Oh, you got to buy this guy's course. It's amazing, right? He'll be able to call tops and bottoms in the market indefinitely. The irony in that is that there was no declaration of the losses that were incurred on that multi-million-dollar portfolio. That you know, an individual like that doesn't need to invest. You've got millions of dollars stacked up. You've got financial security. The stock market at that particular juncture is optional for you. Okay. A lot of people might disagree with me. That's fine. You can disagree. I don't care. I'm right. All right. It's optional for you. If you want to continue to aspire to higher than average wealth, no problem. You just have to understand that risk has to remain on the table. But the necessity of providing your basic needs is already met. You don't need to invest. Okay. So for somebody like that, right, to project to people that, yes, indeedy, I have sold all my stock, who cares? Who cares? Good for you. It doesn't transcend. It takes individual retail investors away from the very message that we should be after. And that is to stay the course in financial markets. Why? Because investing for you and people like me is a necessity. It is something that we have to do. Okay. It's not something that you have the luxury of engaging in and not understand. Matt Money talked about this week, and I was like kind of foot stomping his message a little bit this week when he had mentioned some of you guys think that you're portfolio managers. And, I suffer a little bit from this ego, but I also know what I'm doing. If there's anybody that's going to make sense of a stock trade in deep water, it's going to be this guy. Okay. Some people don't even know the game that they're getting involved with. They don't even know, the rules of engagement for single stock and investing and the due diligence that's required to even, maintain a portfolio like that and make sure that it can be managed properly to reduce and take into consideration the risk that you're putting on the table. A lot of people are naive to the risk in the first place, right? So it's all well and good, I think, when you end up in that basket of stocks and the market momentum is carrying you to the upside, and you think, man, this is badass, right? And I'm gonna quit my job. This is awesome. I'm a phenomenal investor. No, you're not. You're not. And just like where those folks are calling market tops, there might be a potential there. We are coming out of, if not rolling off of slightly, a 12-year bull market after a financial crisis that was very, very real. There was corruption there during the mortgage-backed security crisis in 2009. Okay. Since then, it's been gangbusters. Okay. I moved to Detroit around that time. Every other house in the neighborhood were short sale foreclosure. I wish I would have just bought 15 houses at that time because they were giving them away for free. This was just 12 years ago. Okay. Not that long ago. Now the flip side is that the real estate market is gone bananas, and you can't find a driveway for $250,000, let alone a single family home in a nice neighborhood that's safe and you can put your kids into a nice school. They don't exist. Not unless you want to pay a premium of $500,000 in this country. And that's what's going on right now. Okay. So you got to keep this thing in perspective a little bit, have a good head on your shoulders, not to overreact. And I think certainly, with that type of odds making and coming from a perspective of somebody that obviously has an agenda, buy my course, has an agenda, right? It's just obvious to me. And you guys, I should put that on a podcast, man. My spirited podcast, man. I see right the hell through people. I hold myself to the most scrupulous of standards. And you guys might say, and there's people who tune into me who don't like me. You do promotional content, Ryan. Yeah, but I'm an honest guy. Piss on you, honestly. Right? I do this channel for the most part free of charge. That's the financial piece that supplements my message. That's my elevator pitch in 7 seconds. Like it or not, get the hell out if you don't like it. Don't let the door hit you on the ass. The last company I did, gold mining, that was a phenomenal video. Nobody watches it in my independent investor channel audience, and nor do I expect you to do so. But, buy my course. really does reach into your pocket and take money out of your pocket. It really doesn't take that much commitment to hit the thumbs up button to know that I explain and provide that transparency as to why I do some of those projects. It allows me to come on and do my favorite project, which is this, every single Friday and hang out with you guys, who is really my online network of people, and to value your guys' involvement in whatever capacity you want. If you want to come in and catch the live stream free of charge, that's awesome. It gives me a lot of confidence to know that people can find an opportunity and hear an inspiring message like mine to make sure that they can stay steadfast with their program through thick and thin. If you really do listen to the message, you'll understand that by controlling the scale and controlling the amount of dollars that you put toward the market, and you put those dollars to work in the right capacity, you enjoy some of the positive things about entering into the stock market, either on the right side or the wrong side. There's a lot of things that people do incorrectly in the stock market. And that's what Matt was trying to really foot stomp. And I'll go one further and say a lot of people don't deserve to do single stock investing. And there's a certain level of understanding about the game that you're getting part of. Most people just need to really get invested in either ETFs or index funds. Enjoy the markets passively. Most of your 401ks will supplement that very need, and wonderful, right? I think it provides that opportunity, gets you off the sideline, gets you involved in financial markets. But, it's interesting. I posted a chart this week. The market over the last couple of days has been pretty horrendous. But I think we're down now probably 4 or 5% year to date. 4 or 5%, guys. At the time when the portfolio was liquidated and that advice was going out through YouTube, and I know there was a few folks commenting on it. And like I said, I mean, the man could be right. Okay. I just want to caution each and every one of you guys to put the proper credence, if any, or the proper level of acknowledgement, if any, to being right in the stock market. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. All right. Is being right in the stock market, is that going to render, buy my course? Is that going to render more of those results? Because the individual is perceived as being right and being that stock market whisperer that I talked about? Yeah. Yeah. Parsing through the gray, man, to provide the black and white to you. It's just that damn simple. It's not that difficult. Don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. To be honest with you, man, that was like pulling teeth for me sitting through that video. I don't watch those big YouTube channels. As a matter of fact, there's very few that I watch anymore. I'll support the gentlemen that are in my network. I've got Ethos Investing in the house, man. Fantastic. Lots of corruption still. Totally agree with you. Here's somebody with their thumb on the pulse. And it's funny, there's a lot of these awesome YouTube channels out there that are also really, really great people. Matt Money and Kyle, who's a guest on the channel all the time and part of my business networks and dealings behind the scenes. These guys are gangsters. I mean, they're freaking killers. And I would not, uphold a criteria of business savvy to the top tier degree. If you can't hang with me, I won't hang with you. It's just that simple. The back and forth, it's got to be on point. It's got to be up there. Your aggressiveness and really your perspective just is that got to be locked in. I think a lot of people have that potential to reach deep and find it. Some won't. Some won't. Some want to come onto YouTube and take that ill-advised posture of finding the largest YouTube channel out there and saying, okay, well, there's a few million followers here. This must be the way. And I contend that that is extremely dangerous, because I don't know if people are either doing one of two things. They're looking for genuinely good information, and some of the information that's rendered out of these channels are actually very, very good. Meet Kevin is a very, very smart kid, smart guy, no doubt. I don't mean to sound condescending at all, but I lost a lot watching that. And I thought, it speaks to the motivation, and good for him. Marketing, fantastic. Buy my course. He will sell courses out of the deal. Why? Because people are naive and they love to, for some reason, have their nose up the backside of somebody. As if they're smelling that ass, they're happy. Me, uh, that's not where I like to be. Okay. Most of the activity that happens in my wheelhouse is behind me. Why? Because I'm out front. And that's what I expect out of each and every one of you guys to dig deep. And if there's any type of servant leadership inside you, find it. Find it as soon as you can. Find it with some ferocity. Okay. Because being a follower in this life is going to eat you up and it's going to spit you out. It's just that simple. And you're going to find that you really don't have any ideas that work on your own. It's gonna it's gonna be real tough on you, man, because when you come to atone for the decisions that you've made, unfortunately, you'll be atoning for the recommendations that you took and deployed for yourself when you should have been taking your own advice, guys. So really appreciate you guys making your way into the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube for another live stream here on Friday. Got a killer show for you guys planned, and it's great to see everybody. Back with you in just a moment. I don't know what it is that allows us to be so gullible. And sometimes I have to make sure that I'm speaking to people in relative terms. And what I mean by that is I understand I'm wired different. I understand that. Hell, I like who I am. All right. I don't take any shit from anybody, none. And I'm a very, very harsh critic. Yeah. Who am I the harshest critic on most of the time? Me. Me. I don't spend my time criticizing others. I was brought to this video, and it was so contrary to what I believe in that I had to, watch it, offer my comment, and I think for the good of the group, it's the folks that follow my lead from a daily perspective in the Viper group and want to understand my tutelage and coaching with regard to my perspective on certain injects. Look at it this way. I said 3 months ago that when the market started to roll off, that all of the material that they had in the closet for many, many months, if not many, many years, would be pulled out. And they start selling that propaganda. YouTube is no different. Okay. It's no different. As interested as you can be in the propaganda that's available out there, as good as you can package it up and deliver it to people as if it's your own. It's not. You can find this information anywhere you want free of charge on the internet. You can read about the interest rates. Emergency meeting coming up next week. It'd be interesting to understand the renderings of that meeting. It is what it is. We're fine. I gave my audio cast in the Viper group this week, and like I don't really understand, man. I mean, you got grocery stores that are kicking some ass. Good things, no doubt. Lockheed Martin is good. Got a little geopolitical tension. We haven't had some of that for a little while. You know what I mean? North Korea seemingly fell off the grid there for the last 2.5 years, so we didn't have anything to talk about there. As COVID rolls off, we're going to have to find something else to sell to people so we can continue to generate the fear in people, right? It's better to keep people afraid because they're easily controlled and shepherded. You know, you keep them in the swim lane that you want to keep them into. Could you imagine a whole world of empowered individuals like me walking around? Shit, that's the beauty of YouTube. I get to share my philosophy with people. That's why they come in and they're like, "Fuck yeah, Ryan, you're the man. You kick ass." I do. I kick ass. It's just that simple. Get a little kick ass in you. It's okay. All right. Be scrutinizing of the information that you vet. Okay. 99.9% of the information and morals that I follow, they're mine. They're mine. They're not anybody else's. I'm a hard guy to persuade. If there's any persuasion there to be had, I'm lockstep into a program. If it aligns with my program, fantastic. My advice to you is find your personal brand and outline and define your own program, which is what some of these other guys are doing. Watch a video from Kyle or Matt, or Jason, JMac Investing. Those are the three that are probably the closest to my network that have their own style of delivery, but they've done a good job in defining their own personal brand and their own personal style. Matt really presses. I mean, he's doing some really good things. I'm impressed by his work on Twitter, and I'm impressed by his work on TikTok. And eventually, the dam will open up. He's putting too much pressure on the system not to get noticed, and he deserves it because he's just a really, really incredible investing mind. And the ironic part about it is that's the guy that deserves 2 million subscribers. Am I wrong? I don't know, man. You just get a sense of sincerity. Maybe I'm off base. I think the guy's just got the biggest heart ever, but he's a badass investor. Like, he's really good. He's a really good investor. I don't know. Maybe it would be kind of cool if you were looking to blindly follow somebody that actually knows what they're doing. I don't know. Holy shit. Just amazing, man. If there's any question with regard to their motivation or their intent, uh, find something else. Okay. But always come back home, man. Always keep it home. Uh, Pick out that there's things that Matt does that I don't do. Okay. And that's okay. There's things I do that Matt doesn't do. And Kyle and Jason and every other of the group here, patrons and subscribers to the channel, things that they pick up, little nuggets, tidbits of information. I would be hard pressed to say that I don't know if Kyle is a dollar cost averaging guru like I am. Diversification. If you were to ask him what his definition of that might be a little bit differently explained, doesn't mean either one of us are right or wrong. Buy my course, and it doesn't mean that. It just means that their interpretation of it is what they've taken as meaning something to them, something that they can really relate with and they can apply in their own personal application. And that's kind of what I look for, to be honest with you. And the interesting part about it is those guys have the results to garner on the investing side. Okay. I find it interesting, and I've talked about this too, being the sleight of hand, is that some of these big YouTubers come on and they profess as if the YouTube earnings, let me double down, the YouTube earnings is part of their stock portfolio ability. Okay. No, no, it's all collective one. I don't make anything on YouTube. It's all renderings of me whipping ass on the market every year. Buy my course, right? It's like the biggest garbage scapegoat sleight of hand piece of garbage. Give me a Tylenol that I've ever seen. It's insane, man. I had it explained by one of my Vipers who's in the group here. I got Jamie, he says it was like watching nails on a chalkboard. And I was like, dude, this guy doesn't seem happy to me, man. You know, it's like, dude, you got a family. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just take a step back, take a leave of absence from YouTube, okay? Start a real estate company, for crying out loud. Go whipping some ass. That's what you were put here to do, you know? There's social media clips that are floating around about his admission to not knowing the first effing thing about the stock market or stocks or anything the general. But if you can sell something to somebody, man, sell that shit. There's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there that will buy your crap. No doubt about it. And again, please double check your pockets and make sure that I'm not reaching in there and pulling out $5.95 for you to consume the content that you're consuming this evening on the live stream. No, indeedy, weedy, it's free of charge, right? So the value is there to be had. And I don't know, maybe I'm a cynic, right? Maybe it's just because I've been burned a few times, I guess, by people that I just had 100% trust with. So I'm a lot more guarded. Yeah. I wish I could be a lot more open with people's ideas opens. It's just I question people's intentions, especially on social media. Social media is just an arena for people to come on and sell their agenda to people, and I think it's unfortunate, and you really have to be a scrutinizing patron of that message to really extrapolate any value at all. He says, "Is Kyle a YouTuber?" He sure is. Yep. You subscribe to his channel, man. You will not find probably a more sharp duo of younger investors than Matt and Kyle. Yep, that's the truth. These guys are real good, and they'll kill it someday. And it's cool too because Kyle can provide a little bit of the pedigree of what type of maybe not so much energy. I wouldn't charge somebody with sharing in the energy that that guy brings to the table because, yeah, I don't know where he gets it. I think it's fabulous. I think he's pulsed into the same energy that you get by a business opportunity, right? And I think that's something really, really special. And you can't be lackadaisical about business. You got to be a shark. You got to whip some ass where there's ass to be whipped. It's just that simple. And I sense a ferocity with those guys, and I have the utmost respect for them. I really do. It's good to know them. That's for sure. They do relate really well with the younger crowd, so I charge them with making sure that they understand that the message that they put out is being received by probably a younger audience than the ones that I garner, right? So there's a responsibility there, man. And look, I'm sorry. People will come on and they'll be like, "You suck, Ryan, man. Everybody can say what they want to say." Bullshit. No, they can't. They can't, especially when your head is up your backside. When your head is up your ass and you're so naive to think that what you have to say is so important, and it is in fact misleading, buy my course, but you still say it anyway, and that's your angle. It just doesn't sit well with me, man. So a little bit of acknowledgement to understand that the information that, like, everything that I say on my live stream, I'm rolling it around in the back of the noggy before it comes out my mouthy. Okay. And I'm trying to understand what it is that I can say to, yes, probe. Yes, I'm trying to get to you. Okay. So you can think about a few things. Again, it's not monetary. If you don't like the information, leave. It's no problem. It's not about the money. You're not paying to subject your time to my scrutiny. Okay. You're doing it electively. All right. This is free. I could charge for this because it's invaluable. All right. I am wired different. If I thought that people were wired more like me, I wouldn't do this message because I'd be like, "Hey, it's all right, man. We got a bunch of killers in this world." The fact of the matter is, we don't. We have very, very few wolves and a whole hell of a lot of sheep. It's just that simple. And the sheep always want to just seemingly fall in line. I hate to use that analogy with people because I've seen people that surprise me. Um, I say for the most part, people don't surprise me insofar as, yeah, you're really not interested in anything other than just surviving, living life, being healthy, whatever it is. No problem. Not here to judge. But for those people that are looking to do more, every now and then I come across a few people in my daily interactions through social media. They surprise the hell out of me, and they're like, "Man, Ryan's touching on a nerve here, man. I do kind of feel like I maybe want to do more. Is it possible? Yeah, it is. And for human beings, man, the power of the human mind is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And if you can just tap into that, it's amazing the power of a mental mindset going forward, and the ability to change the very reality for yourself. And the cool thing is when you start to taste that successful mindset that is just in your mind, when you start to taste that in reality, that's the exciting part because what are we looking to do here? Are we looking to engage in a fairy tale world where, I'm King Ryan with a hat and a cane and buy my course? And all you have to do is just follow me and I'll provide you bread and water out in the streets and everybody will be happy. No, I don't believe that. I think personal empowerment is so much more than that. And I think from the lowliest of sources, the potential to create great things is inherently there across all people. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, where somebody is so forward and so far out there on YouTube, and they're like, man, this person's got a hell of a following, unbelievable. They must be incredible. I think you need to look a little bit deeper below the surface, man, to really understand the true intent of that. Real talk, baby. Real talk, baby. Let's jump into the portfolios, man. Do a quick review here for all you guys as appropriate. I need to make sure that I'm still able to breathe air. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, good. Still able to enjoy a nice cocktail after one of the best professional weeks that I've had this week. You ever work so hard at your job that you get done with that week and you're like, holy crap, dude, I feel so good because I pressed up, man. I whipped some ass and now I'm decompressed. It feels good. It feels good to chill. Absolutely. Came home. I shut my eyes for like 20 minutes. I did one of those power naps, but all's well. I can breathe. Yep. Powerful. Yeah. For the longest time, man, I've been up at 5 o'clock in the morning, man, doing my workout. I tell you what, if you want to put yourself into the badass category, like the successful mindset category, do it. I know there's some people in the group who don't like when I talk like that. I know they're like, man, I can't exercise. You can. Yeah, you have to. You have to preserve yourself. You have to. I, it's not a choice. If there's anything on this earth, look, man, I'm not sitting here telling you to sell your whole portfolio. What I am telling you to do is exercise. Yeah, you can not like that about me, no problem. You have to preserve the very essence of your well-being. You have to. It's incredible. Okay. It's not like Fight Club, self-preservation is like masturbation. It's not like that, man. It's extremely important. Your quality of life will thank you. Okay. Your very essence and being, your application, it transcends into your business application. It transcends. I mean, I wouldn't want to sit across from an audience if I didn't feel like I had a few categories whipped in the ass. If I had a few of these things figured out in life, you know, how are you going to tune into somebody if like I'm a complete disaster and I don't have good balance? I don't do daily uploads on YouTube. You want to know why? Because I'm coaching. I do jujitsu with my daughter 4 times a week, man, coaching the kid. I'm being available. I do this Friday live stream, and that's the level of devotion that I'll give to an audience that I don't know 95% of you guys, but I deliver the product for the good of doing so, right? Super important. I still have the ability to enjoy a nice bourbon and Coke. Life is good, baby. Life is good. Let's take a look at some portfolios. Took profits in Lockheed Martin today. Unfortunate to have to do that. Just brutal times. Anytime I have the ability to take a little profit, the established positions that I wanted to take here, I've already taken in TQQQ. That was a nice addition to this. It complements the BTI. Nice and good with the technology, the triple levered there. Everything else is a go. Blackstone Group. I've got nestled in here. And, these are all buildings. I'm just in a holding pattern right now in the portfolio. Holding patterns, as far as perspective and investing, they can last months, they can last years. I've been on the holding pattern for most of 2021, and I'll continue it into 2022 until something shakes loose. I could have just given up on oil uh, years ago, but I didn't. I'm almost back in the black with Royal Dutch Shell, And it did liquidate some big oil. I've got the smaller positions in ExxonMobil and Chevron in the dividend portfolio that I'll chronicle for you guys. But I did liquidate those, took some great profits in Chevron and Exxon today. So the opportunity to take a little profit in a down market, man, was attractive to me to put a little buffer into the portfolio, lean into some of these positions that I've taken here as of late. That, of course, has been caught up in the downturn that we've incurred. It's been, the market's been brutal. I think you can agree with that. I own Disney, fantastic. Buy my course. You don't need to, it's free of charge. Buy Pepsi. There's a good piece of advice. Sell your whole portfolio, man. You'll sleep easy for like 2 nights, and then you'll be like, what the F did I do? Great, I followed this guy, Meet Kevin, who's been investing all of 2.2 years. Should have followed the Independent Investor channel. Actually, should have. Want to know the truth of it. We're down just a touch here. You can see the spark line. We're down week over week, a little bit in the portfolio. No big deal. I talked to my Kyle again before, right before coming live stream, and it was a nice conversation. I will share his sentiment about building to cash. It's something that I foot stamp all the time on the channel. It's something that is nice to foot stomp when you're not doing it out of necessity. No, but it's something that I do all the time, and I've already put some of that capital to work. I'm happy to do so. My dollar cost average schedule does not change. Okay. And the dollar cost average is really keeping those passive investments nicely in the game. Super happy about it. This is my active portfolio, guys, that I'm declaring to you now. Okay. Roth 1 here, no big changes. The BlackRock is the most recent of changes in here. Everything else is the same as normal. I'm in a holding pattern with the portfolios. This is down just a little bit week over week. It's come off a little bit, 109,898. You know, Hyliion is holding in there at the $4 level. It's got earnings. I'm going to try to get a question out through, I don't know why Rick, if he doesn't already have, I see Rick Schnellman in the group here, is a good friend of mine, good friend of the channel. He's VIP on the channel as far as I'm concerned. But and a good guy to know in the community, the Hyliion community as well. But I have plans to ask 2 questions on the call. And the questions are going to be very, very simple. I'm going to ask where he gets the insight and what he's hearing back and feedback from the fleets to derive at his bullish sentiment on how wide accepted the product will be from the fleets, and to comment on the disconnect between the market that is pricing Hyliion right now at liquidation value. So the disconnect is very real, and I'll pose the question to make sure that he comments on what he is seeing as a bullish thesis internally, but also to acknowledge the disconnect and the neon green elephant in the room, which is the stock market not buying the bullish thesis as of now, as the company has zero sales. And the second question will be about OEM integration. It was mentioned on the Q2 call. I've heard no progress on any type of advancements made on the front of OEM integration outside of their existing relationship with Peterbilt, which is a good one. But the caveat is very, very simple. Hyliion will not succeed. I will repeat, they will not succeed if they cannot go from low scale production to mass scale production, even on the lower end of that spectrum, which I start at about 2,500 units per year to keep the lights on at Hyliion. And they're nowhere near that. They have not garnered enough interest, and I don't understand any progress that's been made. I believe that there has been, but we're not made privy to that. And I would love to have Thomas Healy's comments on the OEM front, the integration that's being made, when we could potentially look to scale up from low scale production into mass scale production at some point in the future, and what progresses have been made toward that end. Those will be my questions on the call. Ryan, independent investor, Cornerstone Capital Solutions. Who the hell is this guy? Nobody. Just a guy drinking some Jim Beam on a Friday with you guys, having fun. Worked hard this week. Went to jiu-jitsu. We got a soccer game tomorrow. People are leaving the live stream. I'm out of here. This guy sucks, man. He's way too normal for me. I want to be entertained. I'm out of here. Okay. No problem. I would leave because I don't render results. The market's down and the portfolio's down. This guy sucks. He's not showing me the way to riches overnight. He says that's not possible. I beg to differ. No changes here in the portfolio. Like I said, Royal Dutch Shell is up. I did remove ExxonMobil. I've been swing trading ExxonMobil to some degree of success. It's been interesting. It goes up one day and it sells off the next. It's very, very predictably channelable. And I've been channeling the hell out of ExxonMobil. I've made some killer money, no doubt about it. Could have just held it long, but I didn't. I've been kind of just squeezing the juice out of it. Because Matt talked about this a little bit this week. Another one of the themes of his messages that I resonated with. Everybody's piling into oil right now, which is like, okay, yeah, it could go to 100, but the time to buy oil would have been the time that and he said he was doing it. I'm not one to toot my own horn, but I was as well. Rode it all the way down into the downturn, was buying into the downturn, and I made my killer money. I'm good. All the easy money with oil has been made. I agree with that sentiment for sure. I don't understand why all these people now are becoming bullish on ExxonMobil at $80 a share when it was at $37.50 some year and a half ago, 18 months ago anyway. I don't know. Go figure. Buy high, sell low, right, guys? Buy my course. All right. There's the ETF portfolio, off $200 week over week. So if nothing else, you guys can extrapolate a range of risk tolerance that you could deploy with the use of these portfolios, get you used to, okay, how much in a down market does a $20,000 portfolio suffer? This was down a couple $100, and for some new investors, they may look at that and be like, damn, $200, that's like 4 video games, or I don't know, maybe 2 video games for what you guys are playing now, or whatever it is that you can take. I don't look at $200 the same as you do. I don't look at $1,000 the same as you do, and I don't look at 10,000 or even 100,000 the same as you do anymore. Okay, I have graduated to a better place in my stewardship and my application with how I look at the opportunity of dollars invested, and that's just it. Try to teach people along that spectrum, that evolution of growing into a more advanced understanding of your money. Okay. And invested dollars, you cannot be excited when they act like invested dollars. Here's the dividend growth portfolio. This is awesome. I get a dividend paid out of this. Is off $100. Value's holding in quite nicely. Mixed earning reports, but the projections are actually quite good. Read some reports that they're actually calling for the contrary, entering into a super cycle. That's part of my independent research. I guess if I fell in line with all of the pundits, I guess I could just sell everything and I don't know, buy my course. I could just like swipe my credit card as quickly as I could to spend that $1,500 on a few courses on YouTube to try to save my ass. But I tend to take a step back, take a deep breath. I'm good. Thanks. I'm good. Do something good for myself. Go to the gym. Stay tough. Stay in the game. Stay engaged. Stay teaching. I don't care how bad it gets in the market. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to quit YouTube, right? So people have come on and they're like, man, Ryan, you got me invested in the market. You got me excited about wealth building over the long term. You suck, man. I'm off. You should quit your channel. And I'm not going anywhere. You can leave. I'll continue to teach financial stewardship in up and down markets, man. You want to know why? I seemingly understand something about the stock market that a lot of young investors and old investors alike don't understand about the stock market, and that is this. It either goes up or down. I understand that. Okay. Do you truly understand that? Okay. If you truly understand that, then you'll put a program in place to account for either one of those two outcomes. Okay. Not just accept one and then bitch and complain when the latter happens. Mm, okay. Off about $100. This portfolio goes up every week. I suck. Actually, this goes up incredibly well because I know what I'm doing. Buy my course. Here's the TSP whipping some butt. We're up week over week on this. This is indicative of any of the programs out there that you could have. If you have a 401k, this does not carry with it matching. For you guys that do, congratulations. I think that's great. Some of the 403 programs, some of the recipients in the group here that are healthcare workers that enjoy the benefits of the 403b. I think it's a great program. For you guys that are getting the matches out of that, I think it's a great thing too. Still holding down a performance of 17% in this portfolio. Buy my course. I love it. We're just getting crushed in this. Hyper growth is rolling off. Large cap growth is rolling off. The VUG, it's been one of those that I've always wanted to own. I own it. It's easy. Easy. It's ETF. Good grief. It takes no effort. It takes no brains at all to put some money to work in the VUGs. $1,000 bill. No big deal. And we're doing well. We are up $1 week over week in the mid caps. So not too shabby. Globex has been a disappointment as of late. It's caught up, of course, in this obliteration of small caps. No big deal. We're going to continue to wait this holding out anyway. This is Charles Schwab account. It's one holding. Cryptocurrency has caught fire, obviously, for you guys that have been following it. The Bitcoin is just absolutely holding in strong. Shiba Inu has actually caught some fire as of late. I've been monitoring that, and no, we're going to continue to be an investor in that in the iTrust Capital Roth IRA. If you guys are interested, you can click on the affiliate link, and I do get paid for that. However, you actually get a service out of the deal. You get information on a Roth IRA. If you don't want me to get paid out of it, you could secretively make your way over to iTrust Capital and start it without using my affiliate link. There you go. I got you, Ryan, man. You're not going to get paid on my accord. Again, check your pockets. Make sure I'm not extrapolating that $5.95 for sitting through the independent investor live stream tonight. Okay. Make sure. All right. And there it is, $47 in the portfolio. I've been investing 25 years to garner $47 of net cash. We've got about 576 years to go before we get to our goal. So I understand if there's a lot of you guys who tune into my message and they're like, damn, in my early 40s, man, I'm only going to have $40 in my account. You suck, Ryan, man. I'm so glad you don't sell a course, man. I wouldn't buy it anyway. I wouldn't buy it if you charged $120. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. You can subscribe to Matt Money, who's got about what 12,000. Kyle's got about 12,000 subscribers. Matt's got about 10. They both deserve about 10 times that amount. You can subscribe to them free of charge. You get all kinds of good information, man, free of charge. I don't offer those recommendations lightly. I don't. And they're not immune to scrutiny either. If I disagree with something that either one of them or anybody else says, I'll disagree with them. They'll disagree with me. It's just that simple. Jason, JMac Investing, we disagree on application. It's fine. No love lost. No love lost. It's business, baby. We're all trying to get to an end. We don't mind putting it out there, man, but that recommendation, when it comes from me, it comes with the highest level of conviction because I run them through the same scrutiny as me. They're not me. I'm only me, and I expect that there's only one Matt Money and Kyle and Jay. They're individual. That's the cool thing about YouTube, right? They're cool. Very, very cool. I really enjoy supporting their message, man. Let's get to the gallery here. Take a look, see who's in here, man. Oh, hell, there's all kinds of people in here. Fantastic. And Sarah's in the group. Oh, leaps on Hyliion. I missed that. Still account for risk and allocation. My leaps are down. I'm down so huge. I'm down so big on this company. What else can I say? It's just been so lovely. Buy my course. Just kidding. You'd be like, Brian, you don't know what the F you're doing. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Being stock market investor isn't about being right or wrong. It's about tricking people into thinking that you're right or wrong and then selling them a course, right? It's about sounding really, really elegant, uh, even though you don't know the first effing thing about what you're saying. It's about not having any experience, but being really polished with your application and selling a bunch of naive people because I can. Perhaps maybe I should go neon green with my hair. That'd be pretty awesome. They'd kick me out of my job. No, I'm good. I like my black hair. I was blessed. I'm good. I like it. I like me. You guys should like you. I like you. I like you. Maybe even if you don't like yourself. It's that simple. Me, Kevin's a bitch. I was like, wow, I don't understand. This guy needs to go kick his own ass. Jesus Christ. Jesus. It's like I imagine the character test we used to put people through on the boats up in Alaska. Just vicious, vicious. If you could survive that, man, you can come serve on my team. hmm But you got to be able to stand tough, man. Most people like talk tough and they can't perform under pressure. Most people, you get them under pressure, they will crack. Um, most people will get into the heat of battle and then they will understand that they're in heat of battle and they'll fight and they'll do everything they can do to possibly understand what it'll take to survive in that. Those are the people that I want to work with. hmm And what do you think the independent investor channel is all about? Hmm? It's one big job application that I put out there to a bunch of people. Beep, 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 beep. I know where I'm going. Hell, I'll go there by myself. I don't care. No problem. For those of you guys that are part of my Viper group, you're part of something that is so much more special than what you think. I'm looking to build a network of people, and I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people someday. Where you're like, "Damn, dude, this is awesome, man." I would be part of a group if somebody could just do it my way, but they won't. Nobody's going to realize my vision the way I will, and you guys will all be part of it. No doubt about it. It's going to be very, very special. That's part of the feelers that I put out there in this understanding a few things about life that are just really beautiful. We revolve around those things because those are the things that are really worth revolving around most of the time, man. For sure. Sober Trades is in the group here. Another one of those channels, very, very good. Kick over, subscribe to the channel, bring into your network of close quarters channels that I endorse, absolutely. And a cool guitar player, a cool guy, that's for sure. But great to see you, Sober Trades, man. Very cool. Sorry for the ninth inning shout out. I give you one in the first inning if I'd see you pop in at 9 o'clock, man. But come on the live stream one of these times, man. We'll wrap. I wanted to do tonight's live stream by myself. I'm in a different zone when I do interviews. Kyle, I was going to have Kyle on tonight. He wanted to come on, and tonight I wanted to deliver the message myself. I know he appreciates that. I'm on all the time with Kyle, and we talk behind the scenes daily, and it's a good thing. But it's really kind of cool to see you guys. Bob says dollar cost average into it. Absolutely. I've been buying for sure. Buy my course. Crap, he beat me. I love it. So that was just what I don't know. I never know what I'm going to say on the live stream, guys. You got to give me a little bit of latitude. I just, yeah, it just comes out. Okay. I feel like there's a higher power at work trying to help get to people and let them know that most of the stuff that you come across out there in way of advice is just utter, utter bullshit. It's just utter garbage. All right. If a crash comes, it would be great to go into an EF. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I see a lot of people that are on this bandwagon of ETF investing now at a market high. Market's at an all-time high right now, right? What's rolling off right now is big tech, which putting some massive pressure on the market because the weightings are so heavy, right? And I think if you were going to go from a non-investor to an investor, you could certainly do that. I would just say enter into these volatile markets with fair expectations. Okay. I think if you had a $50,000 bill to throw at this market, average into it, right? Make your starting amount $2,500. It doesn't mean you have to go whole hog. You're not going to win over the short term anyway. So enter into the market in the capacity that makes sense for you now, and it'll help you make sense of this gig as you scale into it. Buy the market as it dips. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing. Save into cash, and just doing the deed. Yeah, VUG is Vanguard. Be kind of careful with some of these offerings that I put out there to the group. Okay, I don't put these out there with the intention that you just fall over yourself to go buy these. And Sarah knows this. I know she's explaining to somebody what this is. This is the growth ETF from Vanguard, and this does fluctuate. It's got a pretty good year-over-year average, and I've got a relatively small amount in this. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? Great to see some new folks in here. Fantastic. Brad, thank you for your comments to the, I don't think I named it by name tonight, but you guys could kind of tell. Look, if you're going to put that kind of content out, you need to be responsible for that, and you need to atone for that. I'm not going to get behind something like that. It's garbage. All right. Tobias, great to see you, my friend. Fantastic. Says enjoy the comment, man. We're just a little over 60 minutes. I am going to wrap it up, guys. Really appreciate it. I looked forward to this. I had a pretty crazy week. I had to pull it together for this one, and my eyes are getting heavy. I sold out just like I do every week, and I sell out for you guys. And again, if there's any reaffirmation of the intent behind my message, it's certainly not to sell you my course. It's not. The renderings from this project are going to be so much more valuable if you can feel like you are part of the community, which the folks that do get it, to find every level of personal empowerment that you can possibly have, and realize the renderings from initiating a program that puts you in the driver's seat. Very, very important. We revolve around this topic. For a lot of people, that's really, really a scary proposition. We try to break down some of those barriers to entry in stock market investing, and making sure that all people out there, whether or not they believe it or not, can come in and they can find an inspiring message like myself, because I have an uncanny ability to see good in people and see potential in people that people don't see in themselves. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next Friday in the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. Be well, and we'll catch you next week.